Thank you for calling 1-800 SAD Design. We're back after our little spring break session. Thank you for being patient as we, spend time with family and, you know, do our own creative projects and catch up on some work for the podcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're back with episode 16.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've talked to Ty too. How you doing?
Yeah, we haven't really talked. I mean, I don't really
Saw you
can't.
yesterday, but didn't really talk.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like it wasn't really time to talk. I also it feels like it's been like a whole month since
I
we've
think it
last actually
has.
talked or even recorded anything. So it feels kind of weird. Um, I don't. I honestly have not worked on anything. So
You
there's
took
that.
spring break seriously.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think design wise, I don't think there is much going on. Yeah. So yeah, not that a whole lot design wise. Personal life wise, went to Chicago, saw my brother. That was nice. Had some good food. Ate a lot of hot dogs. Um, I think that's it. I don't know. I can't remember a whole lot right
How was
now.
Chicago? I've never been to Chicago.
It was good, honestly. Um, It was good. I was kind of mad because the one day we went to the city was the only day of the weekend it rained. So we kind of
Oh, of
had to cut our
course.
day a little bit short, but that's fine. But we got to see like the bean. We went to like this little port. It was a pretty big port actually. Um, Met up with two of my cousins who live in Chicago, and then one of my friends also lives there, so we just hung out. We all went into the city together. I had like these grand ideas for some photos, but uh, when we went to like go take them is when it started to rain, and I was like, I don't think it's worth it trying to get like soaked and trying to stage up these photos. So I was like, I think I'll be back and we'll just save them till then. But I wanted to do like these photos. Have you seen the bear?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to do photos kind of like inspired from that because we were gonna go to Mr. Beef, which is the restaurant.
hmm
It's like at or whatever, and I was gonna do some like stage photos or whatever, but we didn't make it. So then I was like, damn it. But I'll save it till
That's
next
so
time.
sad.
Yeah, but I mean now I have a reason to go back, even
Yeah.
though I was already planning on going back for my brother's graduation.
So that's nice.
Um,
I have, so going into our design talk later, I have something that will connect to Chicago that you should try to go see next time you're there.
okay.
We'll get back to it.
Yeah, I was like, well, I remember like I don't even remember when, but I was talking with Brian one day and he was like telling me about a college campus as a Japanese guy and whatever. And I was
hmm
like, hey, where's that? What college is it? Because there's like so many different colleges out there. And it
Yeah.
was like, I was hoping it was kind of like close to the city, but it's like, I don't know, 2 out, 4 hours maybe, like south. I was like, oh, that's not really Chicago, is it? But
Yeah.
it's, but yeah. I wanted to do a bunch of stuff, but a lot of it was yet to pay for it. I was like, I know. I'm here to only pay for food, really? Like, come on. So yeah, that was fun. We watched the new Marvel movie Thunderbolts. It was okay.
It was okay. I
Yeah,
haven't been keeping up with Marvel since Endgame.
yeah. It hasn't really been too great since then. Um, the movie critics are pretty. I don't. That's like pretty strict about everything now. Everyone's so demanding, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was the Chicago trip. It was nice. It always feels nice to get out of town a little bit.
I feel you.
Um,
I've not been anywhere in a long time. I was like, the last place I went was the Oregon coast, and that was last May after graduating.
I mean, you went to like Pocatello, didn't you?
Oh yeah, for a
That's
wedding.
that's something. That's like 4 hours away.
Eh, it was
It
still
still
Idaho.
counts. It still counts. I mean, to me, honestly, anywhere like an hour out of this place is like getting out of town. Cause I
Oh
hardly
yeah.
like drive around and like do stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what have you been up to, design wise and life wise?
Um, we finally finished the menu for the restaurant I'm working at.
Nice.
That took a very long time, and I, it was not the best experience, so I don't think
Yeah.
I'll be doing it again for them.
Is it
Sorry.
like is it done and printed and like in the
Yeah, it
restaurant?
is. It's in the restaurant. It's been used. Like, this was its debut week this last week, so
That's exciting.
it looks good. Well, actually, they didn't listen to or they ended up printing them in house instead of getting them printed
Oh.
professionally. So the ink colors came out a little weird, and also they didn't trim them. Cause
Oh.
so I
So it
was a
has the
little
white
upset
border.
about that. So I was the white border, and I was like, "That's not what it's
Damn.
supposed to look like." So I
That's
was
just
upset about
unfortunate.
that. I was told it was going to be printed professionally, or I was under the impression it was getting printed
Mm.
professionally. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll do full bleed color on this one portion," and then I was like, "Should have known." So
But
um,
that's on them.
yeah,
They
not on
told
me.
you and then they didn't like follow through. So that's on them.
Yeah.
Can't really do much about that. I mean, I feel like they should have told you so you can kind of
Yeah,
like
so
change it up a little
I
bit,
wouldn't have
but
done edge to edge color then in
yeah,
certain portions.
that's
So that was a
that's
little
rough.
disappointing, but it looks good. Like I think it turned out really good. I'm proud of it, and despite all the back and forth that we had for a while, but yeah.
Nice.
And I'm working on book covers of that Hunger Games series I've been rebinding forever. I'm still weeding stuff out. I ended up doing
Jeez.
quotes on the back of them, and I have to stay consistent. So it takes
Mm-hmm.
me 10 years to weed out
That is
all the letters.
that's insane.
So I'm
Gotta
doing
love
that.
it.
Yeah. What else? I feel like there was something else design wise. I can't remember. Applying for jobs still haven't heard anything. Got a lead on one. Turns out they weren't hiring. It's
That's
never ending
great.
there.
Yeah, I've applied to a couple, or I was like, they're like, oh, applications are open, whatever, and I apply, and then you get an email. It's like, actually, we're not gonna hire anyone.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right,
Our needs
whatever.
changed.
Yeah.
So cool. Something else. I mentioned it in the bonus episode we just recorded, but that's for Patreon, so everyone else won't know this. But I got a cat. His name is Rowan, and I love him. That's been the highlight of my life the last month since we last talked.
Nice. Yeah, how's he doing?
He's doing good. He got 9 teeth pulled 2 weeks ago or
Mm.
extracted, so he had to wear a cone and he was bleeding all over the place and he was not feeling good. So he's doing a lot better now. He's a little menace. He's got his energy back. When we started the episode, I heard him like scratching on the carpet in my room, and I like
Uh,
swung around and was like, "What are you doing?" But he's great.
nice. Nice. Um, did you enjoy the show yesterday?
Oh yeah, we went to the senior showcase for Boise State's senior class, this year's senior class yesterday. I thought it was very good. I was very impressed by what they did. It's always interesting to see what they do different from like past years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I loved the idea, the interaction point with every table of you have this passport, and to get the showcase tote bag, you have to get a stamp from every table saying, you
Yeah.
were there, you talked to them, you looked at their stuff, essentially,
Yeah,
which was
that was a
nice.
pretty cool idea. I mean, I liked it. The only thing is just to my perfectionist mind, I feel like it could have been a little bit better. Mainly
Yeah,
because the stamps were so big, and it like covers up. Like they made a space for it, but
yeah.
the space was like not the same size, and then even the stamps.
The stamps
Some
weren't
of the
working
stamps
very
were,
well.
yeah, yeah, um,
Great idea.
yeah. I mean, I feel like just me is like just nitpicking the little things, but all in all, I really liked that idea. It was
Yeah.
cool.
And those banners that they did that were hand
Yeah,
drawn by
those
one
are
of the students.
insane.
So, she illustrated each person in the class and they hung them from the loft down
Yeah.
into the showroom. And they were huge and impressive.
I wonder how much it costed for them to print that. Because I'm just assuming it was with that big printer.
I
Unless they
I was
unless they
talking to
talked.
Emma and she said that she drew them by hand on like just the pieces of paper.
Oh.
And then they hand painted the acrylic paint scribbles all over
Oh,
them.
okay. I thought it was a print because I saw like the signatures, and I was like, they must have had a projector then. So
Yeah,
that's insane.
it was
That
very cool.
yeah, that was cool. The show in
Everyone did
general was
such a
cool.
good job. Crazy that another class
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Well, I was talking with some of the juniors going into the seniors, um, and I was like, "You guys taking notes for next year?" Which honestly, I don't know how they're gonna do it because there's so many of them. But it's always funny seeing them kind of like have a minor panic about it
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
feel like
there's no way they're gonna be able to fit in that
yeah,
that room. They're gonna have to do a different venue because it was packed last night with 15,
mm-hmm,
not 40.
yeah. Well, I heard some people saying that they're gonna split it in two, but that's still a lot of them. Um, so yeah, it'll definitely have to be somewhere else. But it'll be interesting to see.
hmm
But yeah.
But it was a good show. I was there. We were there for almost 2 hours. So like,
Yeah, I think I was there for 2 hours or something. I just kind of got stuck talking to people.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like said hi to everyone that I wanted to talk to, and kind of got peopled out. So I just was like, I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, I was just walking around and I just ran into a lot of people and I was like, "Oh, hello." And then kind of just changed into like a 10-minute conversation. I was like, "All right.
I did
Okay."
want to chat with Brian, but he left early.
I know. It was
And I
funny
was
though
like,
cuz
well,
like
I have no reason to be here anymore.
when Isabel and Emily came by, they're like, "Where's Brian?" I was like, "Oh, he's gone."
He left like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, he just came to say hi." Or like he came up to me to say hi, and then he's like, "I gotta go." I was like, "Okay, okay, bye." But yeah,
Yeah,
showcase was nice.
it was very nice. It's good seeing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Good being around those kinds of people.
Yeah, because almost
And
everyone there is like a creative, so it's just nice, nice environment, all
liked
that
it.
good stuff. Um,
All right, you want to move into our design talk today?
sure, sure. I mean,
We, what?
I was gonna say, did you plan any like search anything?
For today?
Yeah, because I mean I was originally going to, but I'm now just
Um,
doing it all off the top of my head.
yeah, I did. I pulled up a couple little things, nothing crazy, but we thought we were going to talk about modern day marketing strategies, especially the usage of social media and short form content.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bring it up before we get lost in it and we forget, but um, I think a great example of marketing that I think is hilarious, and that's been coming across my For You page, and that I've been enjoying is this little like mom and pop breakfast shop called Judy's Cafe. It's just outside of
Oh,
Chicago.
is it with the Asian lady?
Yes.
Yeah, that thing popped up. Uh, yeah, that thing's popped up a couple times, and I was like, interesting. But I mean, I
it,
just like
they're funny.
scroll through it.
She'll like take, I don't know, like fail videos of like people falling
Yeah,
or whatever, and
there's
then
one
it
where she
will
like
like,
jumped into a windshield or something.
yeah, it will like cut to her, the like owner Judy, like doing some crazy stunt, um, and like responds to the other fail video, and she's like, "I'm Judy. I have a cafe."
Yeah.
But it's just it's funny. It's different. It stands out. I and
Hmm.
it's just been popping up all over, and I keep interacting with it because I get a good laugh out of it every time. And I think she can't possibly do any more of these, and then there she is
Yeah.
again.
I mean, there's so many dumb videos on the internet, and that stuff reminds me. There's this other guy. I don't even know when he started, but I've been seeing it for a while. He's like a Chinese dude in China, and he has like a sign business, and he basically takes like the dumb, like she takes that Judy lady takes the like fail videos, but this dude takes like the dumb, more like political videos or whatever, people like what complaining, and just makes fun of them, and then goes like, well, I can make these signs whatever, and they're like legit signs on for like businesses, but he kind of does the same thing, and that's always funny. You
Yeah.
see people like making compilations of like the best ones that they make and all that, so yeah, that's funny. I always think though a comedic approach to advertisement is one of the best.
I think so too. It's definitely attention grabber.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it shows sometimes your personality as like a business or a brand as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is so important because you need to be able to connect with your audience in a certain way. And I'm like, I know everyone might not find Judy's videos funny, but I get a kick out of them, and I'm like, I might plan a trip to Chicago just to go eat at Judy's Cafe. Like,
I think some people do
it
that. Like
works.
if they're in town, they're like, I saw this one short or reel, and I was like, I want to check it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good use of it. Um, but yeah, I do think though the short form content is important for all businesses now. Like,
Yeah, well, you can't escape it anymore. I feel like all of our
no, it's
attention spans are
everywhere.
so short now. um, and it short form content is like a high attention span compatibility. It fits into that very fast scrolling habit and that instant gratification. So it makes sense, and it's like how much information can they shove down our throats in a very limited amount of time, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I try not to like. I always tell myself that I try not to like doom scroll, but I always get stuck doing it.
Yeah, it's
But there are
easy to do.
times, yeah, there are times where it's like, it's either you get like three in a row, and I'm just like, these suck, like, and then I just close the app, or it's like I notice that I've been doing it for like 2 hours or whatever, and I'm like, oh, 2 hours have passed, huh?
Yeah. I caught myself doing it this morning. Instead of getting ready to come talk on the podcast, I was laying in bed just scrolling, and then I was like, oh, it's almost time. I need to get up.
Yeah, I feel like that's what a lot of people do though, is like right when they wake up, they just scroll through everything. And I definitely do that.
Yeah. I've
Um,
been trying not to. I make it like an effort every morning to like read my book, go downstairs, make a cup of coffee, come back up, read my book, just have some like, I don't know, nice wake up time without my phone.
yeah, I think once I kind of like finish these things that I'm doing at the house, I'm gonna start like just leaving my phone not in my room. So it's like when
Yeah.
I wake up and I have to check something, it's like I actually have to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So, and I honestly, I don't even know. I feel like I've always been kind of like struggling to get out of bed, but I feel like with all the short stuff, it's like it's even worse.
Mhm.
Like it used to just be I don't want to wake up, but now it's like I'm up, I just don't want to get out of bed. So
Yeah.
it's rough. It's a rough life, I guess.
But I think short form like media too is, I don't know, one of the best ways right now to get something out, especially since like all the social media platforms like algorithms are based off of, these
Yeah.
short form videos. They're not necessarily recommending posts or ads anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, video. And I feel like they're also very quick, like production. They're very fast to make. It doesn't have to be anything super thought out like
Mm-hmm.
commercials or whatever in the past used to be, because you used to have to, plan out a whole story of, what can we tell audiences in 2 minutes of screen time. And now it's like, oh, well, we can, tell them everything they need to know in 5 seconds in multiple videos.
Yeah. One thing I always find interesting is, and it's not much. This is more YouTube like video stuff, but I see a lot of people who just upload videos into the shorts thing. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
as people are scrolling, they think it's a short, but it's just the whole video. But they're like so stuck watching it, they just end up watching the whole thing.
The whole
And I
thing.
was like, that I don't, yeah. So yeah, like whenever I open up YouTube on my phone, it always just goes straight to shorts, and I'm like, I always have to like remind myself and force myself at the start, like to go back to the home, because if I don't, I'll get stuck in that. So
The loop. Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm like, why do we get, stuck watching them? Is it because they're like easily digestible? It's fast entertainment. Like, because most of them I feel like aren't very valuable. I'm not getting anything
no,
out of.
it's definitely entertainment. I mean, at least for
Yeah.
me, like all I do on Instagram is pretty much just look at funny videos and like funny videos of dogs. Like that's it. And honestly, like if I don't get like 3 posts where it's not either that, I'm like I'm done. I was like
Yeah.
you've lost me. So and like that's all my friends and I share. We just like share a bunch of dumb videos, and it's like
And
I'm
maybe
fine with
that's it
that.
too. It's the shareability thing, that
Yeah,
you're still connecting with other people and being like, haha, look at
yeah.
this. And
I always find it funny because I have
different
a
form of communication it's becoming, I think, too.
yeah. Well, it's funny because in my group chat, um, we do not like communicate. It's all we all communicate through videos, and
Reels back and forth.
yeah, and I always find it funny because like it's with my brothers and I think like 4 or 5 of our friends, and we never or I tend to watch some of the videos that they share, but everyone else doesn't. So it's like my brother is always late to watching the videos, so he sends stuff like a couple weeks later, and I'm just like, we used to be like, we used to all reply like, we've already seen this, dude, but now it's just like we just leave it. But yeah, and
Yeah.
then it's like when I was with my brother in Chicago, it's like we're in the same room, we have a show in the background, we're just like trying to relax a bit before we like go out again, and I'm just scrolling, and then he gets like a notification on his watch, and it says like Ty shared a reel. He's like, dude, I'm right here. It's like, yeah, but you should look it on your phone.
Yeah, you have to have the full experience.
Yeah, and I honestly just like to mess with my brother because he's always like says like, dude, just show me on your phone. So now I'm like, if we're in the same room, I'm just gonna put it in the group chat.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's an interesting way of communication.
it is. And like, I always have like a million that I come home to, like reels to come home to from work. because like my roommate Jacob, he will just send them all day when I'm at work, and then I do the same to him when he's at work, you know. So it's just I'm always my nightly decompression time after work is just watching the 50 reels that Jacob sent me while I was at work.
Yeah. One thing I will say that I do not like is when people do send you reels and you like scroll up, it doesn't go to the next one they shared. It just goes to a whole nother one.
Yeah.
So that also is
So you
like
always
part
have
of
to click
the
out and
addiction thing or whatever. And I always have to remind myself about that, but you know, that's how they designed it, you know.
yes, and it works. It's effective.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah. Like what else? There's like I don't know. I think of like Apple specifically. There's a lot of other brands too that have been doing the short form content too. Everyone does it a little bit differently, but
Has Apple
they
been doing it?
Apple's been doing I've seen a couple of like highlight videos that are showing off like certain features of, you know, their latest
Mm,
product or whatever. Um, like cinematic mode and different
hmm.
audio things and stuff.
I have not seen any of
Um,
those. They must not be targeting me, I guess.
you
They're like, this
you
guy
don't have
has
an
a
iPhone.
Samsung. Like,
Yeah.
why do we need to be giving them our ads? But I
Yeah.
don't get Samsung ads either. So who knows?
It is. Maybe it's because I still have like Apple Care or whatever. You know, I'm still
Mm,
very closely tied with them on my like laptop or whatever. I don't know.
yeah, it could be
Because
any
I
of
said the
those.
word Apple.
Yeah, now I'm gonna get
And then
Apple
never,
ads.
yeah, they listen to us. Do you think they actually listen to us? I feel like they do
Yeah,
sometimes.
I
Uh,
saw a thing saying
my
like,
ads are way too tailored to things I talk about and like things I didn't even search, but something I said out loud, and I was like, oh, that's funny. I
it
was
was
just talking
funny.
about that.
Like one time, I can't remember when, but it was like I was talking with some people, and it was literally just a thought. Like I didn't even say it or anything, and I typed the first letter of what I wanted to search, and it autofilled to that. I was like, what are the odds that it autofills exactly to what I wanted to search?
Yeah,
I was like, that's a little suspicious.
don't really like
Um,
that.
but I was like, all right, whatever.
They know our every move now.
Yeah, I do
We
think though
spend
they
so much
listen
time
in.
scrolling.
I feel
They
like they
have
listen
to.
into everything for national security, I guess,
National security.
or whatever.
I'm a huge threat. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're all deep down huge threats, you know.
Yeah. We're
Um,
gonna overthrow everything on this podcast. Just watch it happen.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a
Now they're gonna block us and not recommend our podcast to anyone because they heard us.
mm-hmm. It's like those things where it's like you rewind it and it's like a hidden message type thing. That's what the podcast is.
Yeah,
I don't know what our message would be, but that's us, you know?
it's there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Um, I did see, well, I didn't see it. I just saw my mom post something on Facebook when I was going to go to Marketplace, and it was saying, like, Facebook is something changed with Facebook or whatever, and about, like, selling information, or they have, like, access to your information or something like that.
Hmm.
I was like, interesting. But also, I don't. I think the only thing I share on Facebook is my Facebook Marketplace purchases. And I was like, is that really important?
Yeah, I
So,
don't use Facebook at all. I do use Facebook Marketplace and I sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, but that's it.
yeah, that's all I use it for.
Anyone
Um,
need a couch? I have a couch in my garage. I really need to get rid of.
just post it for like, I mean, a decent price, but I'm sure people will pick at it. It is also,
it.
it's also hard though, because people are moving out right now. There's not a lot of
I
people
know.
moving in.
It's a very nice couch and it's like brand new, very nice condition. Um, and I asked $200 and I've lowered it to 150. Not a single person has messaged me about it.
Really?
This couch is like brand new.
Hmm.
That's cheap.
Maybe just wait. I mean, it might suck like having it in your garage, but maybe you just have to wait a bit.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I mean, honestly, I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
when
They
August
have,
rolls around, there'd be a lot of offers.
yeah. But I don't want to wait till August. I won't be able to use the garage.
That's the hard part.
Hi, Rowan. You say hi? No, he ran away. Never mind.
Camera shy. He's camera shy.
He was licking my leg. I was like, hello.
Um, but yeah, honestly though, like I think social media is just how everyone advertises everything. Like I like to follow like the smaller brand things just to kind of see like what they do on the start and how they do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and I've talked with a couple people and they're always just like, it's pretty much just Instagram. And they use
Yeah.
Facebook only for ads. I mean, like they'll post, but Facebook is good for ads because it kind of like, and even if your target audience isn't like the older people, it'll still go out to them and then they might like share it. I feel like the older people tend to see things and then share it with people who they might think are interested in it. Um, and then like they use Instagram, maybe Twitter. I don't know. I haven't been on Twitter in a long time,
I
but
haven't either. I don't think I've been on Twitter since like 2016, and I keep getting emails that someone's trying to log into my account,
yeah,
and I was like, okay,
like, I don't really care.
there's nothing there.
Yeah. Um, and then I also there's this thing called UGC, which is user generated content, and I found out that that is like the most successful way to advertise products on, I guess, any sort of like ad, really. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
time I've seen it in like short form content, but it's just like those ads you see where they look like regular people or content creators and they're doing like a genuine review of a product, but realistically they're paid to say it. But it appears to the consumer that they like bought it with their own money and this is their review of the bag type thing. Because it's kind of like a low quality video because it's just with the phone and
Yeah,
it's just them in like their living room just talking about everything they love about it. So although I don't know if I'm seeing a whole lot of that now. I wonder if it's not that like trendy now because it's kind of been used for a bit, but that I thought was interesting because I was seeing a lot of it. But yeah.
I see a lot of like partnerships too, like between like celebrities and brands or brands and other
Mm-hmm.
brands.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's just a whole nother like part of the influencer thing.
yeah,
Is because all these people look up to these celebrities and they're like, oh, well, they use this brand, so I'm gonna use that too.
yeah. Have you seen this the Snoop Dogg wine?
No, I
I
honestly
I went over
don't
to my friend's
follow.
house and they had a bottle and I was like, "Is that Snoop Dogg on the wine?" And they were like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Honestly, it's not that good." But
I
you
think
know how
that's
many
how it is
people
for
bought that wine because Snoop
so
Dogg's
many
on it?
people.
So many
So many
people.
people. I mean, that's all it is. It's kind of like just a face. I mean, it's not like just a face, but it's just like I mean, to me, like I'm not a huge fan of these like TikToker influence type people, and I honestly don't like watching any of their stuff. But I mean, some people do, and they think they're the best person. Um, but it's also just like since they're a celebrity, people are like, yes, I'll buy anything that they produce or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just the world it is, you know. But I
Yeah.
do think most celebrity products are not that great. Like I feel like a lot of people talk, they like these celebrities make a new product and then everyone tries it and they're like, this is not that good. But there are some that are good, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't follow enough like celebrities to
I
like
don't either, but
know
I have
what's
seen a
going
couple
on.
things.
Um, Yeah, I can't even. I don't even know who the
I'm
most
trying to
famous
think.
person I'd say I follow is.
I don't think I follow like any celebrities. Or
I
do
think I
you?
used to, but then I
I used to, yeah.
unfollowed like a long time ago, and I was just like, it's not
It
important
doesn't
to me.
interest me, yeah.
No, it's like it doesn't impact me in any way.
Yeah, I might have followed them because I was super like interested in a work that they did, but then you follow them and you see their content and it turns out that they're not like that the work that they did. So
Hmm.
it's like this, or they do different things and that aren't interested that you're interested in, and I don't know, just
Yeah, I think I just
doesn't apply
follow.
anymore.
I follow a lot of designers now, and I think I just follow brands rather than like celebrities.
Yeah.
Although I did just notice because of all the May 4th stuff going on, I do not follow this like Star Wars account. I was
Mm.
like, oh, I thought I always followed them, but I was like, I don't really care.
Oops.
I still don't follow them, but yeah. Um. Hmm.
What else? What else? I should have pulled up more bullet points or something.
Yeah, I probably could have too, but honestly,
Actually, I feel like it's been 40 minutes. I think we had a very decent conversation.
I think, well, yeah, 40 minutes on the recording, but I don't really know how far we're actually in.
That's all right.
I feel like
Let's take a
honestly,
look.
the way it all works is it's all just with social media. I mean, you can point out like certain type of like campaigns, but I mean, I don't know any off the top of my head that really
Yeah.
stand
Social
out.
media is the marketing strategy now. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like there's no way any other
I think it's gonna be like that for the rest
form
of
can
time.
compete now unless something new comes along that's, which I can't think of
I
what
think
that
the
would be,
newest thing
but
is like that Neuralink thing,
yeah.
but honestly, I don't even know how that stuff works. The way I would see it is just like AR, essentially, the
Hmm.
augmented reality. But even then, that's like you need to. I don't know. I don't understand how any of it works.
Yeah.
It's like you get whispers of an ad in your subconscious mind, something like that. Um,
AI.
yeah, I think social. I honestly feel like social media will live forever,
I
as
think
much as I
so
hate to
too.
say it. Um, I was talking with my boss though. We were just saying how like I forgot what got us into this topic. We were kind of just saying how, and I definitely know everyone's got different ideas on this, but personally, I would like to see what would happen if the world went in like a worldwide EMP and just like all electronics are gone, no electricity or whatever.
There was a
I want
movie
to see
about
like what
that.
happens.
I watched it with my parents and we were actually like terrified. I can't
I
I see what it was called.
I know it would be scary, but honestly, like I feel like it's kind of like a modern day Thanos situation type thing, which is just kind of like people would freak out, and it's like you obviously have to adapt, you know. It's like any zombie apocalypse movie. The
Yeah, okay,
first
it was
like,
called Leave the World Behind. It's a Netflix movie.
and it's kind of about around that topic.
Yeah, there was a
Interesting.
blackout, like a worldwide blackout, and but there's like some other kind of like threat, and so they're like it's like crazy survival trying to
Hmm.
deal with this crisis.
Interesting.
And the ending was so bad.
What do you mean? Like you can just
Like,
spoil it.
I'll spoil it for everyone listening. Um,
It's a couple years old.
yeah, well, so the the main character's daughter is like, young, and she's like obsessed with the show Friends, and
Mm.
she didn't get to finish the series before the blackout, and she's just like obsessed, and she's just like kind of having withdrawals from not being able to finish Friends, and she ends up like, it's been a while since I've seen it, so it might not be exactly like this, but she ends up like leaving her family behind as they're dealing with like this crazy threat fight, like fighting for their lives, and ends up in the basement of this house and finds the DVDs for Friends and is just sitting there watching the like last episode of Friends while her family's like, fighting for their lives. And then it just ends.
Wait, how'd she watch the thing though? Well, I guess I don't really know, but like
Well, she was like
electronics are out.
streaming Friends before the blackout.
So
And
was
she
it
didn't
like
get to
an
watch the last episode.
was a I guess it's kind of like electricity would be running. So, okay, I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm just looking at images though, and there's like these pictures of deer. Do you know what that has to do with it? And they're like scary looking deer. Not
I
like
can't remember
they're
what was
just
going
normal
on with the
looking deer, but
deer.
they're like just looking straight down the camera.
I can't remember what was going on with the deer.
Hmm. I
It
always
was a
like to
crazy
watch
movie.
the like apocalypse type video movies, just because it's kind of like I always find it interesting to see how people like depict people reacting.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously, first I don't know months to years is rough. There's like chaos, um, and then people adapt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
I can't say
thing,
how I would do.
I feel like yeah, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't do that great, but I feel like I'd be fine. Like, hmm.
I'd like to think I would do good, and then I'm like, in all reality, I'd probably give up and be like, whatever
Yeah.
happens,
It's
happens.
like 24/7 camping, you know? Like legit camping. If it was just you, tent, campfire, nature stuff.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I don't know. I did see there's that movie called The Electric State on Netflix. And that one's kind of like I feel like what we're kind of working towards is robots
Hmm.
replacing workers essentially. I thought that was an interesting take, although I don't think it did that great. Um, it was interesting. It was
It's
like,
definitely a possibility.
I think so. I mean, have you seen like the robots that Boston Dynamics makes?
Mm-mm.
They got like, they had like the Robo Dog that was big, like
I do
2020
remember
or
that.
something. And then I think they've been working on this stuff for a while, but they have like human sized robots that like lift boxes and jump around and all that. So yeah,
Interesting.
I don't really know what they're working on now, but I feel like one day you're gonna be walking around a grocery store, and you're gonna see a Boston Dynamics robot in there.
Yeah.
One day, I think one
Well,
day
I
it'll
have
happen.
the like the cleaning in grocery stores, like the floor scrubbers or whatever. Those are by themselves now in some
Like
places.
like a Roomba.
Yeah, for the
Hmm.
grocery store. So that used to be someone's job to ride around on that little thing scrubbing the floors, but now
Yeah.
it's big Roomba.
Big Roomba. Interesting. I know. I don't really. What robots have taken jobs so far? I remember when drone packages
Oh
were
yeah,
like trying to get big, and then it
it
never
just fell
went
off.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. I also did think that
Cool.
was kind of like a weird idea, because I don't know airspaces and all that. You got to worry about
Yeah.
all that stuff. What's also like regular commercial drones, they only have like a range of like a couple miles or something.
That is true. Mm.
But yeah. Um shall we just move on?
Sure. To font of the week.
Font of the week.
Last episode, we went over what we call prehistoric design. So what designers did before computers, essentially. And so, as a funny haha, we chose Prehistoric Caveman as the font of the week. And this one was hard to work with too. it,
Yeah. I
it
used
just
it.
it's so bold.
You can't even tell where I really used it, but I used it.
I could,
It is
yeah.
funny though, because my dad called me about our last episode,
Mm-hmm.
and it was because my aunt, his sister, was kind of like mad about how I was saying like I didn't really understand what MTV was,
Oh.
and she was like, "I grew up on that stuff." And I was like, "Okay, I didn't." Or like
You're like, that's
floppy
a foreign subject.
disks, yeah, and yeah, my dad was talking about like because I think I stated somewhere like saying I don't really know where I got like this creative side, but he
Mm-hmm.
was saying like my grandpa was a good like illustrator, and then my my dad's dad, and then my mom's mom is a really good calligrapher. So I think that's might have where I got it from. I don't
Yeah.
know though. I don't know. But yeah. Um, but yeah, font of the week. Honestly, I opened it up before we recorded to finish it, and I honestly forgot I even designed this. So it was kind of a surprise when I opened it up. Because I first designed it getting ready for our last recording, which was like 3 weeks ago. So, oh my god, what's wrong with my voice?
It just disappeared all of a sudden.
It's like mucus buildup, and then I don't know. Gotta love it though, right? Okay.
Ours are very different this week. Sometimes I feel like our fonts of the week are it's like, yeah, we kind of did, had similar inspirations or, the font,
Yeah.
kind of was used in similar ways, but this week, completely different.
This one I got inspiration from a new song that I found when I first designed it.
Hmm.
I think the main reason why I liked it was because it sounded like Daft Punk, and I like those like kind of synthy beats. And I was like,
Yeah.
it sounds nice. I was like, but yeah, um, I know it is funny though because sometimes we're like fairly similar, and then other times it's like totally opposite.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the bonus episode stuff where it was pretty opposite, I'd say, from the stuff that we made.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I think they're just going to continue to change too when we move on with that series.
yeah. I mean, and honestly, with just like these poster designs, I kind of just like to mess with new styles. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really have a go-to style for a lot of my work, so I think
I
right
don't
now I'm
either.
just fake trying to. I really do want to find one though, because I think it'll just make it easier. But I can't just land on one.
I feel like that'd
I
be
don't
so
know.
boring after a while, though, of just doing like the same thing over and over and over
Yeah,
again. So
I
that's
like the
why also
variety.
I like doing the fun of the weeks. And like, oh, and some of them it's like, yeah, this maybe wouldn't be like a final draft for like anything I would turn
Mm-hmm.
into a client or for
It's
school
just
or, whatever.
experimentation.
But yeah, experimentation of what ways can I break the rules and have it still like look good and effectively communicate like the narrative or whatever I'm trying to portray in this week's, theme or font. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely what I do.
yeah.
Um, But yeah, so my poster, it's very pink. And I think I just picked the pink just to match with the text. The song that I listened to, let me find that name. The song is called "Not Into You" by Brixie, and I just found it one day when I was trying to find new music. Um, but yeah, main text is just says, "Dude, she's just not into you," and it's very much like I don't know, pink. Mm. Um, and so yeah, I kind of just added some. I just found a background image. I didn't know what exactly, but background image kind of like muted it off a little bit, so it's not. It was a very vibrant picture with like the sky was like blue and kind of like the pink, and then ocean, and then the rocks. So I kind of just flattened it out a bit, blurred it, added the grain because it looked kind of, I don't know, weird. Although when I did export it, there's way more grain than there was on the file. So I was like, I don't really like it, but it's fine.
It's okay.
Um, and then I used, you can't really tell, but I did use the Prehistoric Caveman. On the text, the black with the pink like back shadow backdrop thing, that is it. But I just used like the liquefy tool, I think,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. I don't know what it's called. So that is the Prehistoric Caveman. And then I just added like subtle lines from the song in the background just to fill some of that space. But I put like the multiply transparency on it, just so it kind of blends in. It's not too distracting, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
on the top right corner and the bottom left corner. Um, and I was like, I added it to fill some space so it doesn't look so empty, but I also added it to use the font because I didn't really use it a whole lot. So yeah, lots of different typefaces in here though, which I
Yeah,
normally don't do. I normally stick to like two.
it's working though, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I really like the prehistoric caveman with the liquidify
Mm-hmm.
whatever in the background with the other dude over the top. I think it
I
is a
want to
nice
like,
contrast.
yeah, I wanted to have contrast, but I also did want it to be like somewhat stylized, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was kind of happy with the way it turned out. I was
Yeah,
messing
I
with.
like it.
I remember that I was messing with the that liquefy stuff for a bit
I
because I
do.
was like, I have a vision, but I'm not sure
So I'm
how
just
to
gonna
get
mess around
it.
until I find it.
Yeah, I was like
So
doing like the mesh warps and all the different types of warps. So yeah,
I do like the background too. I think you said it was very bright, but it's very like I don't know. It's muted, but it's very soothing, and
yeah, and
I
I
like the
did
grain on
this.
it.
I did it all in the Illustrator because I was like, I don't want to open up another thing, and so it was literally like I can't remember how I did. I think in like the green settings you can lower the contrast. So I like lowered the contrast and the vibrancy so it kind of flattens it out a bit. And then to get like the pink, I just added a pink rectangle over it and did a overlay. And that's it.
Yeah,
And I was
it's
like, all
nice.
right, looks fine for me.
Yeah,
So yeah. I do think though if I did it in Photoshop it would take me way longer. So but yeah, that's mine.
I'm trying to work in Photoshop. I did mine in Photoshop this week.
Nice. I know I'm Photoshop is just another realm, but one
Yeah,
day
I
I'll get
did
to it.
take a more literal approach with this font of the week. And I was like, this reminds me, Prehistoric Caveman reminds me of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's
I know
very rocky, bricky, Flintstones almost.
I was gonna do something dinosaur themed or caveman themed. Like I was gonna
Mhm.
make like one of my joke style posters of like a wheel. That
Yeah.
was like one of my ideas, but I was like, you know what? I think it would be interesting to try to use it in something that you wouldn't use it in. So that's why I went
Yeah.
with this.
I like that approach. You did a very good job of it too.
Thank you.
But I was scrolling through, stock images and I found these very like kind of this very funny like illustration of like dinosaurs. I don't know, I just think they're so funny looking. And I also
Is
import
it is it all one or is it different?
it's there's two images I put on here. So like
Okay.
the bottom half with the landscape and everything, with the three dinosaurs, that was like one whole image, and then it kind of felt empty. So I did find a dinosaur skull in a very similar style to the other illustration that I kind of placed above it to fill up more of the page. Um,
Okay.
and then I used our risograph texture pack on both of them to kind of add some texture, make them more my own since I did pull the illustrations from online. And then just use Prehistoric Caveman to type in blue lettering Giants of the Past as kind of like the main
Yeah.
thing. I messed with where to put that like caption all over the
Mm-hmm.
page and it just ended up right there because
I
I
think
was like,
that's like the best
good enough.
spot to put it in
Yeah,
because you get a
because
little
that
bit of overlay on that skull,
yeah,
but
and
it's a
that
nice
the beak
open
of that
space.
skull is so
Mm-hmm.
long too that it kind of just like goes along with it.
Yeah.
But and then I wrote a little passage at the top of like long before humans walked the earth, colossal creatures ruled the land,
Mm-hmm.
Just a funny little thing about dinosaurs. But and then I added grunge and paper texture over the top to make it look very old and worn and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. I like the blue. The blue kind of like really stands out with it.
Yeah, originally I had like the brown because I wanted like the paper like the page to kind of look like worn brown sepia. So like I had the illustrations in brown and then like the type in red, but it was like so monochromatic, and I was like, I need
Mm.
something with a little more contrast, and I was going through a bunch of different colors, but the blue, yeah, was very nice with the brown.
Yeah. Very nice. I also just like how the date is. I don't know why, but where it's placed, it's nice place, and it's just like I feel like if it weren't there, it'd be too brown on the bottom half.
Yeah.
So it's like a little nice like ease on the
Little
eye, I
break,
guess, or
just
something
a
like
little
that.
break.
Yeah.
I've been including the date in all of my font of the
Mm-hmm.
weeks this year, and I don't know, I like that. I had to stay consistent
It's
with
a
that.
nice little thing to add. You
Yeah, I
know.
originally had the date underneath that flying bat dinosaur looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I feel like it needed that white space through like the
Yeah.
illustration, and I don't know, I just nestled it up in there.
I
That
also do think
it just
though,
worked.
since this Giants of the Past is like right aligned and on the right side, I think having it on the left is kind of like a nice way to break it up a bit.
Yeah,
Like I feel like if it were on the right, and since it is a little bit higher up, it would be like I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it wouldn't. It would look fine, but just not fine. You know.
yeah,
So yeah, but nice.
that was a fun one.
This
Uh,
poster reminds me of the new Godzilla stuff they're doing, just because
oh,
it's
really? I
like
haven't looked at it.
I think it only reminds me of that now because just yesterday I watched a thing saying that they started production for their new movie. Um, but it just reminds me of how like their whole plot of the um, movies now, because it's like with King Kong and all that. It's just like they existed before us and they'll be there after us type
Yeah,
thing. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
makes sense. Um, for the next font of the week, we chose Zapfino,
Zapfino.
which is a script font, but it's cool because like as I was like looking on Adobe Fonts, and like typing test things, you know, in their little test bar, the characters were changing to like, you know, different characters to kind of best fit the combination of like letters in the word, which was nice. So, and I'm sure you could, once you pull it up in your program, like change it around to different variables. But it was kind of a cool script, and that one was on Adobe Fonts.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen this one before. I don't know. I feel like some of the script fonts are just so similar.
Script fonts are, yeah, kind of hard to use sometimes. I feel like,
But yeah, I mean, I don't. I feel like it'll be fun to work with. I don't know what
yeah,
I'll do, but I think it'll be fun. I used to always like use these type of script fonts in like high school. I feel like because they just looked so cool, but I haven't
yeah,
used them in a while, so it'll be fun.
I think so
Um,
too. This one's cool.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of some ideas right now.
Yeah,
I don't.
I look at it and I'm like, what can I do?
It'll be a surprise for me when I'm making it. It'll just be all on the spot. I think for sure. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
I think so. Um, One thing is if you're not following us on Patreon, subscribe to our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
You should, because we just started a new bonus episode series that I think will
It's
end
like
up
a
being kind of fun.
it's like a mini series. It'll probably be like
Yeah,
3 episodes, I think, based on
how the first one
the
went.
yeah, yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're the goal is to make one poster that has 100 posters on it. So Ty and I are
uh
each designing 50 posters. And so the first episode, we were trying to see how many we could design in
an hour.
an hour. It was originally 50 minutes, and we upped it to an hour.
Yeah,
Um, I
I
think I got
had
20
yeah, I think I
because I
only
was
got like
going really fast. I
15.
was just like slapping color in an image and then moving on. Like
Yeah, I thought
it
I would have
felt,
done way more, but I didn't. Um, so yeah, it's definitely, at least for me, if I were to go the same pace I went the first one, it'll probably be like 3 episodes.
yeah,
But I think for the next one we'll do, I'm gonna try to speed it up a bit,
yeah.
put a little less work in it, but also same amount of work. So
I'm
yeah,
trying to think of like ways to make the workflow faster. I'm like, is that pulling more images? Is that
I
texturizing
don't know.
everything beforehand? Like I don't know.
It's
But
literally you just can't like overthink anything. You just have to do whatever is in your mind, and
yeah,
then once you get it on screen, you're done.
yeah,
Which I did not follow. Well, I mean, I kind of did. I just took my time doing it all. But
yeah. Some of yours were very good. Mine are, I feel like, very thrown together. I love when we were doing like the slideshow through them all too, and I was going so fast that like the color wasn't going edge to edge in the artboard, and there'd be like a thin line.
yours was very much though like you're like trying to get as many done within the hour, and
Yeah,
mine was like I'm trying to get as many done within the hour, but I'm still putting a lot of time into them.
yeah.
And then it's like
I
I
was just
realize
time
how much
crunching.
time is left, and then I kind of give up. And so you can see when I give up on a design.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a
it
fun
was good.
series, I
It
think.
was fun. But yeah, go subscribe to our Patreon and check that out because
That'll be
it'll be a
out
good one.
soon. I don't know when, but soon.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on that one right now. So,
Yeah.
but
Or
yeah.
maybe that one will come out before this one comes out.
Oh yeah, maybe
Never
I don't
mind,
know.
disregard that statement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're not a patron, then you know what it's about.
Yeah.
So, hmm so yeah, it'll be a good one.
And if you haven't either, go join our Discord server to chat with us, use our vent line, connect with other designers, share your fonts of the week, all that stuff. Um, And as always, too, an Instagram recap of the episode will be posted when it releases, going over anything that we talked about today, showing our fonts of the weeks, and just a little recap.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else, Ty, that you wanted to touch on today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Well, thanks for tuning in to 1-800 Sad Design. Until next time, keep designing, stay inspired, and dial into design. Bye.
Bye.